So a few weeks ago, while recording the podcast, Jesse, Allie, and I realized that Bruce Willis had made a ton of movies in 2001, and I jokingly said we should watch all of them and make an awards ceremony for them, because I was pretty sure they would all be bad. And I was right. We made the video, we released it, and then 5 days later it came out that Bruce Willis has aphasia. What is aphasia? Well, Crack's Eli Uden wrote an article for Crack.com about it that I'm just going to read from real quick. There are a lot of different ways it manifests, but the simplest definition is that it's a neurological disorder resulting from damage to parts of the brain that handle language processing and can come from either trauma like a stroke or develop slowly as a result of a disease or tumor. We don't know how Bruce got it, but we don't really need to know necessarily. I mean, if you want to know more, there are other probably more medically legit sites than Cracked to go figure that stuff out. And if you want to like donate to aphasia research or something, I don't know of anywhere that's legit. I don't want to point to anywhere necessarily, but that doesn't mean that they're not out there. I'm just not aware of anything. So I don't think the original video was particularly mean-spirited towards Bruce or anything. Really, we were just making fun of the movies, which he's barely in anyway. And it's clear that the producers are just using his name to get a quick infusion of interest in cash before people realized, oh, Bruce isn't even really in these movies at all. They're just trying to make a quick buck off of some script their dumb nephew wrote or something. But we still focused on a few moments where Bruce seemed to be phoning it in, which granted, he probably would have done with or without communication issues, but they're just not as funny now in light of this announcement, regardless of the intention behind the jokes. So we unlisted the original video for a while we learned more. But obviously we're re-uploading the video with a new intro, this, and cutting all the parts where it felt like we focused too directly on Bruce's performance. But we still felt like there was value in this video because A, the scripts are still bad, regardless of the performances around them. And we still think it's okay to make fun of these movies. They're still bad movies. And B, to be perfectly honest, we thought Bruce was making these as a cash grab anyway to make some money, and it turns out that's probably true. It just so happens that he was trying to make money potentially for his family, knowing that he was going to retire soon. Which honestly means he probably stands and his family stands to benefit from us being more aware of these movies anyway, so might as well show them even if they're bad, and I mean they are a fun hate watch if you're into that kind of thing. I don't think he or anybody involved thought they were making the second coming of Die Hard. I think they were just making movies, making money, and I doubt they'd be surprised that anybody would make fun of the movies now that they're out. And to be clear, none of this detracts from the man's legendary career. He's made some of my favorite movies of all time, notably Unbreakable and like 80% of the Die Hards. We all make crap sometimes. I do it weekly. So without further ado, here are the lightly edited Brucey Awards. Well, this is Jordan Breeding, reporting live from the damn Brucies, the movie award show dedicated solely to the movies that Bruce Willis makes. I'm not allowed into the main event because my cameraman got COVID, so I'm here in this garage, the parking garage of the event. If they are meeting Bruce Willis right now, I'm gonna freak out. Whatever, the show must go on. In 2021, while many of us were privately touring government buildings or sitting inside weeping silently, Bruce Willis was working his damned ass off. The man, the myth, the die-horror starred in no fewer than 7 movies in 2021, all of which were direct-to-video. And pretty much all of them were produced by the same people, and pretty much all of them he filmed in about a week or less, which is why he was able to make so many. But what were those movies? Well, first, there was Cosmic Sin, which is basically Starship Troopers, but everybody is old and sad. Then Out of Death, which is 5 people slowly walking through the woods for 90 minutes and occasionally shooting guns into the air. Then Midnight in the Switchgrass gave us basically True Detective if Bruce Willis was digitally inserted into the background of a couple scenes. Then Survive the Game upped the ante by being basically Die Hard on a farm with drug dealers, and then Apex added a twist by being Die Hard on an island with a little Far Cry mixed in. Then we got Deadlock, the harrowing tale of saving a town from stock footage of a flood. And finally, Bruce blessed us with Fortress, the story of a young man trying to explain crypto to boomers and fix his dad's Wi-Fi. What a slate! And while I'm sure this year's stupid, dumb, boring Oscars will do a great job of heaping praise all over that gay cowboy movie that Sam Elliott loves so much,
none of Bruce Willis's movies were even nominated, which is a damn shame and one that we intend to rectify right now. So without further ado, welcome our first presenter, famed lifeguard and blank man apologist, Jesse Eisemann.
Thank you, Jordan. Wow, this year's Bruceography is quite the smorgasbord of cinematic delights. But one thing each of these films has in common is that they all technically had a script with undeniably words in them. Here are just some of those words, and also the nominees for Best Screenplay, including Apex.
And to be human, you have to reckon with the quixotic ideal that we are good people.
He's got more kills than Shirley Temple's got curls.
Kid, I'm better than good. I'm bacon and eggs on Sunday morning.
Survive the Game.
It's the 21st century and y'all living under a monarchy like it's the Middle Ages.
Excuse me, mate, we're very lucky to have a monarch. Closest you guys ever came to a monarch is Elvis.
Look, I've been chasing their boss forever.
Yeah, so maybe it's time to do something different for once. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're gonna go in after these guys. I'm not letting these guys go.
I'm with you.
Midnight in the Switchgrass.
Well, this is my beautiful universe. And every fucking thing in it belongs to me.
Evening, ma'am. Care to join me for some pancakes?
Cosmic Sin.
Just for the record, I was 25 when I wrote that as a thought exercise, not as a blueprint for genocide. However,
Being sucked off by the universe doesn't sound like the worst way to go.
Out of Death.
My name is Shannon Mathers. I capture images.
Images?
I'm a photojournalist.
Does the Tin Man have a sheet metal cock?
Fortress.
You heard of cryptocurrency, Dad? Digital assets. Sort of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, sure.
Deadlock.
It was probably my 8th birthday. My mother was yelling at me. She was like, hey, you clown, why don't you go to f***ing clown prison where the circus is gonna come over here and take you away with all the rest of you and the rest of the clowns.
Where you at, Cankles?
And the winner is Apex. A hearty congrats to the gaggle of potty-mouthed 5th graders who wrote this one.
Pardon my French, but the man is a motherfucker.
Please welcome your next presenter, convicted cinephile and mischievous little scamp, Allie Gordon.
Thank you, Jesse. Makeup. You may think of makeup as that thing that women wear too much or too little of, depending on my tastes, which must be obeyed. But makeup can also create shocking, genre-altering effects, like a little bit of blood coming out of your ear, or a little bit of blood coming out of your nose. So without further ado, here are the nominees for Best Makeup. Apex, for this bloody from everywhere decapitated head that somehow manages to look nothing like the originally decapitated character who was decapitated. Cosmic Sin, for somehow making this chick's hair yellow. Out of Death, for extremely realistic pulling knives out of bodies. And the winner is Apex, for blood. This movie can't get enough of that red, red blood. God, it looks real. Wow. Now, let me introduce our next guest. The name Werner Hertzog is synonymous with bold, unconventional filmmaking, striving to capture characters at psychological extremes in distinct and unfamiliar landscapes. French filmmaker Truffaut once called Hertzog the most important film director alive. We are so pleased to tell you that we have here tonight live via telecast, presenting the nominees for Best Cinematography is Werner Herzog's forgotten little brother, Turner Herzog? Wait.
Hello, it is me, Turner Hertzog, the better Herzog brother. I have long been lending my talents to the oeuvre of Bruce Willis direct-to-video action films. I believe that the common denominator in the universe is not harmony, but movies in which a bullet hits another bullet and then those bullets explode, and a man walks away from that explosion in slow motion. It is a great honor to present the nominees for Best Cinematography, all of which I have worked on and lent my considerable talents. For who else but the great Turner Herzog would have the eye for such inscrutable fight scenes that only show shots of hands and crotches? Or a needlessly long one-shot of a stumbling woman? Or countless shots of CGI rain not getting anything actually wet? perhaps you do not understand the great metaphorical significance of having action figures stand in for real actors in a film. And the winner for the best cinematography is me. It is always me. Yes, it is my deft, creative hand behind all of these films. So I am the winner, so take that, Werner. Okay, take it, Werner. Enjoy it, sip it down.
Sorry about that. We have just been informed that Turner Hertzog did not, in fact, work on any of the aforementioned movies. The winner is Midnight in the Switchgrass, I guess, for trying the hardest and looking the most washed out.
Sometimes the best thing you can do for an ailing friend or coworker is to simply show up. And that's the extent of what these actors did in support of their leads in this, the rock bottoms of their careers. The nominees for Best Supporting Actor are Nels Lennerson in Apex for Rhetorical Fratricide.
You've always been my little brother. Why are you doing this to me? I was there for you. You always did things. Drove me crazy, my heart. I can't stand you. I can't stand you. I tried to help you. I tried to help you. I tried to save you.
Lucas Haas in Midnight in the Switchgrass for silently sniffing clothes for a truly Oscar-worthy amount of time. Costas Mandylor in Cosmic Sin for being an old soldier guy who likes to dance and wonders if aliens also dance.
Do you think aliens have music? Do you think they dance? Do you think they pay your bartender?
Tyler John Olsen in Out of Death for portraying a crooked cop who very realistically gets the shit beat out of him by a tiny woman, then gets sad about it and does cocaine just so sadly. Michael Cera in Out of Death for giving us a masterclass on losing your shit in a pickup truck. Far-right YouTubers take note. Michael Cera in Fortress for golf cart douchebagging.
The Fortress! You hear that, assholes? It's Miller time, motherfucker! Hey, come back! What?
Douglas S. Matthews in Deadlock for killing it as a cowardly security guard.
Hey, you got this? Because I got to hit the junk.
Right on time.
Hey, you got to keep it regular, right?
No, I was in here doing my business. I heard gunshots, so I popped my head out. I'm seeing soldiers pushing people around.
And the winner is Nels Lennerson, Apex. Wow, that's some world-class quit hitting yourself.
I didn't do that.
There's nothing we can do about it. Women will find a way to get on screen. And these women are no exception. They turned in exceptional performances, just for not as much on-screen time as a leading actress. These are your nominees for Best Supporting Actress. Megan Peta Hill in Apex for being the kind of rich lady who you do not want to mess with.
Babe, time to show us the turkey.
Perry Reeves in Cosmic Sin for deftly switching between playing a doctor, Bruce Willis's ex-wife, and a converted alien overlord in equal measure.
Our culture is war. Our breeding.
This woman in Fortress for playing the F you lady.
F you. I'm not telling you shit.
Olive Elise Abercrombie in Midnight in the Switchgrass for accurately portraying a sad, strange little girl who cannot wink and literally counts stars by hand.
There you are, Mr. Boss.
Oh my goodness, it's an upset. The winner is Kelsey Rose Weimer in Deadlock for pregnant lady who briefly humanizes the villain.
It's a girl.
Congratulations.
Actors. They're responsible for some of mankind's boldest podcasts, vodka brands, and war crimes. But they all had their modest beginnings in the humble art of acting. Each of these men did some amount of acting, in the most generous definition of the word, in these films. So here are the nominees for Best Technically Actor. Neil McDonough in Apex for this smeagly little gorgasm. Chad Michael Murray in Survive the Game for this gut-wrenching flashback scene scored by Diet Imogen Heap.
You can't drop me. I'm a bunny. I'm a good bunny too.
Bruce Willis in Cosmic Sin for portraying a man who does support committing genocide but does not support telling your wife about it.
When you find someone,
Don't tell him what we do here.
Jesse Metcalfe in Fortress for getting absolutely manhandled by this jagoff. Patrick Muldoon in Deadlock for Mac, a guy who showed up for his shift with a hangover and still had to work.
You didn't get no fight. You didn't make out with nobody. We didn't drive. That's a win.
And the winner is Chad Michael Murray survived the game. Saccharine and cheesy. You know it's curdled.
Now for one of the most hotly contested categories of the night. Best Actress. Best Actress is exactly like Best Actor, except that these actors are women, which means Bruce Willis can't be nominated, which is bullshit. But even still, these women really actressed. Your nominees for Best Actress are Jamie King in Out of Death, for becoming a triple threat by fighting, crying, and talking to her dead dad.
Please, for the first time, just tell me I can do this.
Megan Fox in Midnight in the Switchgrass, for beating the shit out of Machine Gun Kelly. Kelly Grayson in Fortress, for everyone's favorite Oscar bait, doing an accent.
I misled you. And in the interest of transparency, I'm in fact not British. I'm American. Research shows that people find a British accent more trustworthy.
Ava Paloma in Deadlock, for Sophia, the shrewish ex-girlfriend who highlights how chill the hero is.
I heard you made a scene last night at the juke joint.
A scene? And Kate Katzman in Survive the Game, for I didn't get the role of Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. And the winner is Kate Katzman for Survive the Game. Congratulations. It just goes to show, follow your dreams. You can always find another movie to play Harley Quinn in.
Let's go cause some trouble.
All right, even though I don't really know what's going on in there, I do technically have all the nominations for Best Picture right here, so let's just do that. The nominees are Midnight in the Switchgrass, because man, it's tried so damn hard with a million shots of literal grass swaying and a serious story about a serial killer and incredible directorial flourishes like this reverberated
She ain't f***ing for the f***ing brother. Hey. She got f***ing different brains. God damn it.
Honestly, tons of words in general, because again, it's so serious. Cosmic Sin, because never before has a movie so boldly embraced committing genocide and then making sure you don't tell anybody about it because they won't get it. We need more movies like this.
Either way this works out, it's going to be on the wrong side of history.
Survive the Game, for being a really serious movie where they probably definitely improvised a lot of the scenes, including this one with the chair.
You see this chair right here? You see this chair?
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey.
I want you to get the f out of here.
And the winner is Bruce Willis. Thank you. Good night. Drive home safe. Really, nothing matters. Nothing matters. Good night.